The ancient Ram Inn, often whispered about as the most haunted house in Britain, looms over the small village of Watton-under-Edge. This ancient structure, the oldest in the village, has stood for centuries, its weathered stones holding on to secrets that the living dare not speak of. A mere 40 minutes from Bristol, the inn's history is as twisted and dark as the roots of the ancient trees that surround it. Known far and wide for its chilling reputation, the ancient Ram Inn has become infamous for the strange history and mysteries that cling to it like a shadow. The inn's eerie aura is amplified by the countless stories of its ghostly inhabitants, unique residents whose presence is felt more than seen. The paranormal activity within its walls has drawn the curious and the brave from far and wide. In 2008, the television show Most Haunted delved into its dark corridors, capturing the inexplicable strange noises that echoed through the empty rooms and shadowy figures that defied explanation. The Ghost Adventures crew, too, ventured into the inn's depths, their experiences marked by unsettling encounters with unseen forces and chilling EVPs, electronic voice phenomena that seemed to whisper from the very walls themselves. The ancient Ram Inn is more than just a building. It is a vessel of lingering spirits, a place where the past refuses to rest, and where the boundary between the living and the dead is but a breath away. The ancient Ram Inn, with its spine-chilling history and eerie atmosphere, stands as a testament to the centuries of life and death that have passed through its walls. This ancient structure, dating back to 1145, has lived many lives, each layer of history adding to its haunted legacy. Before the inn was constructed, the site served as a pagan burial ground, a sacred place lying along the mysterious ley lines that trace back to the enigmatic Stonehenge. This connection to ancient mystical energy has given rise to legends that the strange and terrifying occurrences within the inn's walls are deeply rooted in its unique and sinister past. Originally built as a home for slaves, masons, and workers tasked with constructing the nearby St. Mary's Church, the inn's dark history began when streams on the property were diverted to accommodate the church's foundations. This act, some say, opened a portal to the dark energy once harnessed by the pagans who performed their rituals on this hallowed ground. After the workers moved out, the building became a priest's residence before eventually being transformed into an inn and public house. The inn's most recent chapter began in 1968 when it was purchased by Mr. Humphreys for the sum of £2,600. Humphreys dedicated his life to restoring and preserving the inn, but he soon found himself ensnared in a ghostly web that refused to let go. Despite his best efforts, the inn became too dangerous for normal guests. The once thriving bed and breakfast deteriorated into a place where only the brave ghost hunters, mediums, and those with a taste for the paranormal dared to spend the night. The inn's location at the crossroads of two significant ley lines only deepens the mystery. These lines, believed to be tracks of ancient energy, connect places of geological and spiritual importance, such as burial grounds, stone circles, and ancient churches. One of these ley lines runs directly through the center of Stonehenge, while the other can be traced to Glastonbury Tor. It is said that the ancient energy of Stonehenge feeds the paranormal activity at the inn, making it a focal point for ghostly encounters. Adding to this dark energy is the fact that the inn is built atop a 5,000-year-old pagan burial ground, a final resting place that seems far from peaceful. Humphreys may have poured his soul into the inn, but the ancient forces at play proved too powerful to overcome. What was once a simple bed and breakfast has become a gateway to the unknown, where spirits from the past still roam, and where the living can only hope to survive the night. For many years, John Humphreys was the sole occupant of the ancient Ram Inn, a place where most would fear to spend even a single night. From the very first evening he stayed on the property, Humphreys encountered the spirits that had made the inn notorious as one of England's most haunted locations. That night, he claimed, demonic forces gripped him by the arm and dragged him across the room from his bed, a terrifying initiation into the dark mysteries that would define his life. Despite this horrifying experience, Humphreys remained undeterred, steadfast in his commitment to the inn, even as he uncovered disturbing evidence of ritual sacrifices and devil worship on the grounds. His most chilling discovery, however, was the skeletal remains of children, believed to have been stabbed with daggers in ancient, unspeakable rites. The spirits that haunted the inn did not drive Humphreys away, though his wife and daughter, Carolyn, could not bear the constant presence of the paranormal and eventually left him alone in the inn. Humphreys refused to abandon the building he had come to love, no matter how haunted it was. For over 50 years, until his death in late 2017, he endured nightly visits from the spirits that roamed the inn, holding fast to his home despite the terror they brought. Humphreys' encounters with the supernatural were relentless. On that first night when he was dragged from his bed, he sought solace in placing a large wooden crucifix in his bedroom, which seemed to stop the bed dragging but did little to quell the other disturbances. The banging on the windows, initially in his room, simply moved to another part of the inn, where it continued to terrorize. Humphreys' love for antiques led him to acquire a painting of the famous pastor John Wesley, which he proudly tried to hang in the stairwell. But the moment the painting was placed, chaos erupted. Doors that had been closed for years swung open violently, slamming shut with deafening force, while the banging on the windows intensified, spreading throughout the house. Even his daughter's dog, usually a fearless companion, refused to enter the stairwell as long as the painting was there. The painting was quickly removed, but the spirits remained, their presence a constant reminder of the dark history that clung to the ancient Ram Inn. Yet, despite the relentless hauntings, Humphreys never considered leaving. The inn had become more than just a home. It was a place where the past bled into the present, where the line between the living and the dead blurred, and where Humphreys, for reasons even he may not have fully understood, felt compelled to stay. Not all the spirits that haunt the ancient Ram Inn are malevolent. Some, it seems, are more inclined toward the living, offering a spectral companionship that is less terrifying and more tragic. Among these spirits is the ghost of a woman from the 15th century, wrongly accused of witchcraft. Desperate to escape the brutal fate that awaited her, she sought refuge within the inn's walls, hiding in what is now known as the witch's room. Unfortunately, her hiding place did not save her. She was discovered and burned at the stake, a horrific end that lingers in the air of the room she once thought would be her salvation. Despite her tragic past, her spirit is not one of vengeance. However, she is said to be sensitive about being called a witch, a label that led to her untimely demise. Sharing the space with her is the ghost of a black cat, which might have been her companion in life. Some believe this spectral feline could be connected to the 500-year-old mummified cat that Mr. Humphreys discovered inside one of the inn's walls. In those days, it was considered good luck to place a dead cat within the walls of a home, a talisman against evil. The cat's presence, whether as the witch's familiar or as a relic of ancient superstition, adds another layer to the inn's haunted history. In the witch's room, another spirit often makes itself known, the ghost of a young girl who is frequently seen at the window, waving to anyone who looks her way. She is one of several child spirits believed to inhabit the inn, a tragic reminder of the darker rituals that once took place on these grounds. Mr. Humphreys uncovered a chilling clue to their origin when, during renovations, he stumbled upon a grave beneath the staircase, filled with the remains of children. These small bodies, with broken knives still embedded in their bones, are believed to have been victims of ritual sacrifice. The sound of their cries echoes throughout the inn, a haunting reminder of their suffering. Although placing stuffed animals around the inn has softened these cries, their sorrowful wails never fully cease. Among these child spirits, one is known by the name Rosie, seen floating through the hallways. Her presence raises unsettling questions. Is she truly the spirit of an innocent child, or something far darker, brought forth by the ancient pagan rituals that may have opened a portal to malevolent forces? The inn's hauntings are not confined to these spectral residents. The spirit of the former innkeeper's daughter, said to have been hanged in the attic, also lingers within these walls, as do the many victims of the inn's gruesome past. Paranormal investigators and the curious alike have captured orbs and strange lights, evidence of the restless spirits that roam the inn. The ancient Ram Inn is not just a place to catch a glimpse of the afterlife. It is a threshold where the past refuses to die, where the spirits of those wronged and lost continue to reach out from the shadows, eternally trapped in their own tragic stories. On the first floor of the ancient Ram Inn lies its most infamous and terrifying chamber, the bishop's room. This room, steeped in a palpable aura of dread, has earned its reputation as the most haunted part of the inn. The very atmosphere inside is oppressive, thick with the weight of unseen forces. A medium, once daring enough to push open its door, was violently lifted off the ground and flung across the corridor, a chilling testament to the room's malevolent energy. The bishop's room is a hotbed of paranormal activity. A ghostly cavalier has been known to materialize by the dressing table, striding purposefully across the room before vanishing into the opposite wall. In one corner, two monks have been seen shimmering, their ethereal forms a constant reminder of the room's dark past. Terrified screams echo through the walls, believed to belong to a man who met a gruesome end here, his head thrust into the fire by a murderous hand. The bishop's room is widely regarded as the most haunted space within the ancient Ram Inn, a place where the veil between the living and the dead seems particularly thin. This room, once reserved for bishops during their visits, now serves as a haunting ground for a multitude of spirits. Among these are the very bishops who once stayed here, their spectral forms appearing alongside dark monks and other malevolent entities. The room has earned a notorious reputation, with many visitors reporting encounters with these dark figures who are said to be seen regularly. The presence of an incubus and succubus, spirits known for their sinister interactions with the living, adds an even more disturbing element to the room. To add to the already oppressive atmosphere of the ancient Ram Inn, there are also the malevolent presences of the two demons whose very existence turned the inn from a once inviting bed and breakfast into a place too dangerous for the average guest. The incubus, a male demon, preyed upon female visitors, feeding on their fear and energy as he invaded their beds in the dead of night. This demon was known to crawl into bed with unsuspecting women, drawing strength from their very essence, leaving them terrified and drained. The succubus, his female counterpart, was equally sinister, targeting male visitors, feeding on their energy and leaving them desperate to escape her clutches. The presence of these demons was so overwhelming that some guests were driven to the brink of madness, even jumping from windows in a desperate bid to escape their tormentors. The fear they instilled was palpable, and their influence was one of the key reasons the inn could no longer function as a conventional bed and breakfast. John Humphreys, who had already faced more than his share of hauntings within the inn, shared his room with the incubus until his death. The demon's presence was a constant, oppressive force, yet Humphreys remained in the room, cohabiting with a creature most would flee from. This coexistence between man and demon is a testament to the dark, inescapable grip the ancient Ram Inn holds over those who dare to call it home. John Humphreys, undeterred by the room's dark history, chose it as his sleeping quarters, a decision that many would consider unthinkable. Those brave or perhaps foolish enough to spend the night in the bishop's room have reported being mistreated by these unseen forces, with some claiming to have been physically lifted and thrown across the room by an invisible hand. The room itself seems to be a vortex of paranormal activity. Visitors have witnessed the bed levitating, defying all logic, while the chilling screams of a man believed to have met a gruesome death by having his head pushed into the fireplace echo through the walls. Adding to the room's eerie atmosphere is the spirit of a young woman who appears from the ceiling, suspended upside down by her legs, a grotesque and disturbing vision that has left many shaken. Even the most innocent-seeming spirits in this room are unsettling in their own right. A small Cavalier King Charles dog, often seen in the corner, offers a glimpse of a friendlier ghost. Yet its presence amidst such malevolence only heightens the room's overall sense of unease. The dark history of the room suggests that devil worship may have once taken place here, further tainting the space with a sinister energy. One of the most shocking apparitions witnessed in the bishop's room is that of a Roman centurion. This ancient soldier has been seen on horseback, riding through the very walls of the room as if they were no more than mist. Two unsuspecting plumbers, simply going about their work, were utterly terrified when the centurion appeared, a spectral figure from a long-lost era charging straight through the room and disappearing as quickly as he had come. In the bishop's room, reality twists and bends under the weight of centuries of dark history. Biblical passages and warning signs placed throughout the inn seem to acknowledge the dangerous forces at play, yet they offer little comfort to those who step into this haunted chamber. Here, the past is very much alive, and the spirits that dwell within these walls show no signs of leaving. The men's kitchen, the first room visitors encounter upon entering the ancient Ram Inn, stands on the site of an ancient pagan burial ground. This room is steeped in an unsettling atmosphere where the faint, eerie cries of a baby can be heard echoing through the air. The haunting begins here, as if the spirits are issuing a silent warning to those who dare to venture further. In June 1999, a photograph taken in this very room captured a mysterious white mist, roughly the height of a human, ascending the staircase. Some guests have even claimed that an unseen force has propelled them up the stairs from the spot, as if the spirits themselves were hurrying them along, eager to usher them deeper into the inn's haunted confines. But the kitchen's sinister energy is not confined to these spectral whispers. It has also shown a violent side, one that has left a lasting impression on those who have felt its wrath. During a ghost hunt, an 80-year-old man was forcefully thrown against the wall by an invisible force, a terrifying experience that left him shaken. Mr. Humphreys himself was not immune to the kitchen's malevolence. He, too, was hurled against the wall by the same unseen entity. This room seems to harbor a deep, malevolent energy, one that does not hesitate to make its presence known. Even more chilling are the spectral appearances in the kitchen. A young couple who ventured into the room fled in sheer terror after witnessing the spirit of a woman rising from the kitchen floor. Later, it was discovered that a woman and her baby were buried beneath that very spot, their tragic deaths perhaps the source of the cries heard within the room. The kitchen is adjoined by a bar, and even this area is not free from the inn's dark history. Behind the bar lies the final resting place of another young woman, who presented herself to Humphrey's daughter, identifying herself as Elizabeth. She revealed that she had been murdered by a highwayman, her life cut short by violence. The space between the roofs served as a hiding place for two highwaymen, and it is believed that one of them may have been responsible for Elizabeth's death. Her restless spirit continues to linger, seeking some semblance of justice or peace in a place where neither is easily found. The kitchen and the adjoining bar are far from the heart of the inn, yet they pulse with a dark energy that seems to seep from the very walls. Here, the past refuses to remain buried, and the spirits of those who met tragic ends reach out from the shadows, leaving a lasting impression on those who encounter them. The spooky attic of the ancient Ram Inn is another shadowy corner where the past refuses to rest. Climbing up into this confined space beneath the old roof timbers, visitors are immediately struck by a heavy, oppressive feeling as if the very air is thick with the sorrow of those long gone. The attic is said to be haunted by the spirit of a former owner's daughter who met a tragic end in this very space. In the early 1500s, she was murdered here, hanged from the rafters, and her presence lingers, a reminder of the cruelty she endured. John Humphreys' daughter, Carolyn, once used this attic as her sleeping quarters, undeterred by its dark history. Yet, those who slept in the bishop's room below would often report hearing unsettling sounds from above, something heavy being dragged across the floor, echoing through the night. These sounds, attributed to the restless spirit of the murdered girl, add to the eerie atmosphere that pervades the entire inn. The attic itself remains a dangerous place with an unstable floor that prevents anyone from exploring its deepest recesses. Yet, even from the entrance, the sense of unease is palpable. The history of violence and death that haunts the attic seeps into the very wood and stone, creating a space where melancholy and fear are ever present. The spirits that linger here, like those in the rest of the inn, are unwilling or unable to leave, bound to the place by the tragedy that claimed their lives. The Mayflower Barn, a structure dating back to the 18th century, harbors a malevolent presence that adds to the eerie tapestry of the ancient Ram Inn. This barn is haunted by a towering dark specter, standing at an imposing 7 feet tall, whose presence is both intimidating and unnerving. The shadowy figure is known for its aggressive behavior towards men, lashing out with a violent energy that leaves a lasting impression on those unfortunate enough to encounter it. However, this sinister entity seems to have a different demeanor towards certain women, as if it favors them, drawing them into its mysterious influence. The specter frequently materializes in the doorway of the barn, its dark form blocking the way as if guarding something hidden within the depths of the old structure. What this figure is protecting remains unknown, but its presence suggests that the barn holds secrets best left undisturbed. The barn itself, with its aged wood and time-worn appearance, stands as a silent witness to centuries of history, now shrouded in the darkness of the specter's presence. The figure's ominous behavior, combined with its apparent role as a guardian, raises unsettling questions about what lies within the barn and why this entity is so determined to keep it from being discovered. Visitors to the Mayflower Barn are left with a lingering sense of dread, knowing that the specter's watchful gaze follows them even as they leave, its motives and intentions forever cloaked in mystery. From the eerie whispers of spirits to the unsettling encounters with dark entities, this place is not just a building, it's a portal to the unknown. Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, one thing is certain: the ancient Ram Inn leaves an indelible mark on all who dare to enter. So if you're ever in Watton Under Edge and feel brave enough, perhaps you'll be the next to uncover its secrets. But be warned, the spirits here are very much alive and they're waiting. If you enjoyed this journey into one of Britain's most haunted locations, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a tale of the strange and unexplained. Until next time, stay curious, stay haunted, and thanks for watching.